Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, everybody. Can you believe September 1, Labor Day, we are on the air. Look at us go.
Look at us. September. We're in our pajamas underneath these clothes.
She's just kidding, folks.
Tennis clothes underneath these clothes.
Yeah, right. Well, we were just talking tennis before we came on the air. US Open. You and I are both obsessed. We've been having fun watching it.
Who do you want to win? Who do you want to win the men's and who do you want to win the women?
I never watch it like that. I watch it match by match, and I don't have a favorite.
Okay. I'll tell you.
What's your thing?
So, and it's not going to happen, and this is just for wackiness.
Okay.
First of all, not wackiness. I want Carlos Alcaraz to win. I do. I like his tennis. He makes me so crazy about how he goes on walkabout. I mean, I think he has ADD, but I love him nonetheless. 1, 2. The women.
You're not a big Sinner fan?
I think he's just fine.
Okay.
I don't begrudge him like I begrudge others, but I do not root for him necessarily.
Yeah.
And then I want Naomi Osaka.
Oh, it's been a long time since she's
not going to win it. She's going to have a meltdown and it's going to be terrible, but it's what I want. Already, we're not here to hear about tennis. We're here to hear about
I know, but it's just so weird being here on a Labor Day. But we were enjoying our summer, and I'm almost in tears that it's over because there is nothing like a Chicago summer. It is the greatest season in the world anywhere, right?
It is the greatest season in the world anywhere. And so this summer was hot. But now it's beautiful.
It is amazing. Oh my gosh. Right? I was outside yesterday, the blue sky, the crispness in the air.
I'm looking at our sky right now. It's as blue as can be. Oh.
Yeah. Terrific. So yeah. Are we doing this because we're a little set aside by our market?
We were all, yes. And we were a little mortified that we took so much of August off. And I apologize, everyone, but here we are back.
You and I had just very different schedules. When I was available, you weren't. But now we're back in the swing of it. So, folks, I should have done the basic introduction. Let me go. Okay. I'm Ann Rossley, here with Kyle Harvey. We sell real estate in downtown Chicago. We primarily focus in the lakefront communities, and that means from South Loop to Edgewater and the communities just west, such as Westtown, Bucktown, Wicker Park, Logan Square, North Center. I'm getting good at that. Yeah. And we just love to talk about what's going on in real estate. And we've got a lot to talk about today. I do not have September 1 stats because today's September 1 and I didn't get up at 4 a.m. But I have some other stuff. We're going to do that. And then we're going to talk about what's on our minds. We don't have just one mind. We have 2 minds.
I have mine. I don't know. Yeah.
Except I lose mine from time to time.
There we go. She has the mug. I'm no longer trying to carry my Starbucks mug.
So since I was with you all last, I was at the Tom Ferry Summit and they talk about national stuff. So my stats today are going to be a lot about, and there's my lakefront. I had to use that picture. A lot about national. So I'm using some KCM slides. Keeping Current Matters is our go-to because they aggregate news from various sources. It is the most respected place to get information on national real estate. It does not, as you will see in this talk, reflect what's going on locally, but it's interesting to see the perspective. In our first slide, talks about home price trends varying by area. And they created a slide that shows the top 50 metro areas, and they're showing growth year over year. And there are some metropolitan areas that are flourishing. There are some that are just struggling, and we're in the flourishing stage. Now, that's by price. We may not be so flourishing in other areas, right, Kyle?
Yeah, inventory, good Lord. And we'll talk more about this.
Exactly right. So moving on. Interest rates. One of the points that they're making, I find this very interesting, less volatile. 6.6 that's supposed to be really good that they're stabilizing. We're getting to this new normal. Anytime that people have what's the right word? Stability. They know what to expect. It's easier to make a move, right? When you don't know the future, when you're concerned about where we're at, it's more difficult to move forward. So we're hoping that will release some of what's going on. In terms of predictions, by fourth quarter next year, they're saying anywhere between 6 and 6.6% interest rates. But of course, you can't predict. Buyer demand is up slightly this year nationally. I'd say it's up in good amount where we are, but of course, there's no inventory. Just remember, trying to time your purchase based on mortgage rates is extremely difficult. Nobody really knows where they're going, so jump in the pond, people. They did make the point that even the little bit of mortgage rate makes a difference in your monthly payment on a $400K loan. The difference between 6.5% and 7% is $133
a month. Yeah.
per month. Yeah, every penny helps. Okay, here's where it gets interesting between the different parts of the country. So the green bars are sellers, the blue bars are buyers. So you can see on the right side of the graph, hugely more sellers than buyers. In the Midwest and the Northeast, we're pretty well set, but we actually have more buyers than we have more sellers in the market. And that's what's creating this increase in price where we are. And the housing inventory is growing fastest in the Southwest. But this is versus pre-pandemic. We in the Midwest are down 40% in housing inventory versus the pre-pandemic.
And the year-over-year growth, remember, people, that Ann and I, pretty much for the entirety of our tenure as your hosts, have bemoaned how little inventory there is. We keep talking about inventory. And so 18% increase year over year is lovely. It's not enough.
It's not enough, right?
Not enough, people. And, to be 40% below the pandemic. Consider we started in June 2020. Inventory is 40% lower than it was before the pandemic. So we've been bemoaning this because, my God, look at it. That's shocking.
Right? Isn't that nutty? So then I'm like, okay, let's see where we are in our downtown neighborhoods where you and I work the most. So you can look at the purplish line on the far right. That is the Loop neighborhood, and this is supply of homes for sale, and it is the highest at just over 4 months. The blue at the bottom is Lincoln Park, and we're at 1 month of inventory there. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me help by releasing.
So are these both condos and single family or single family? This is condos or
this is everything.
Wow, 1 month, under 1 month in Lincoln Park.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But then you and I have been watching it. I mean, and you can see from the chart, this is not just this month. This has been a trend. There's so much pressure in Lincoln Park right now.
Oh.
And then this is single family homes alone. And you can see the near north is up there, but you and I both know why. Number one, there aren't a lot of single family homes for sale, and they tend to be in the $2 to $8 million price range.
Yeah,
so, that's why that's like that. That's an anomaly. But of course, the Loop is 0. So we have no single family homes here in the Loop. But the others, the lakefront neighborhoods, 2 months worth of single family home in Lincoln Park, 1.8, just nothing. And then I'm going to bring you, this is through September, folks, because today's September 1, but this is the number of single family homes for sale in the whole lakefront community. Okay. So we're talking again, South Loop to Edgewater, including Logan Square, North Center, which is a big single family home, Lincoln Square. And we are like under 150 right now.
That looks like it's 100, like 140 or 130. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
right. I don't remember what the number. Oh, I can look.
Shocking.
Hold on. No, I can't look.
It looks like 140 just based on the. No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Next week I'll have it all tricked out for you. But I mean,
Yeah, crazy.
like the Home Alone face.
I know.
All right, let's go back. So I just have a couple more quick slides here. This is inventory change compared to pre-pandemic. And the lighter it is, the less inventory it is. And we are one of the lightest, guys. Our inventory,
almost 63% less.
isn't that insane? Look at that. You know, I mean,
what's up with Alabama? I mean,
I know, right?
what?
I don't know. Yeah, it'd be interesting to talk to an agent from there and find out what's going on with that market.
71% less. West Virginia's doing well. Look at that.
Anyway,
these are places that aren't, and I would include us, that really don't have building going on too. Texas still has building.
Right.
You know, the housing starts and some of these, it must be housing starts that are contributing to this, this low number. Wow. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, it just blows me away. No wonder. And you're going to see next week, folks, our prices continue to rise. So I guess the biggest lesson from all of this that I take away is people don't listen to the news, the national news, because that is not how we're going.
No.
Right?
No.
Okay. This is interesting. I just found this on KCM that you can look at what's going on in a local market and compare it to the national trend. And so in this slide, this is the active listing count for downtown Chicago. Now it's just our market, like our micro market, Loop near North, Lincoln Park. Okay. You with me?
Yep.
Okay. So you can see that during the pandemic, like in June of 2020, we were up. And this is combined single family and condo. We were up while the rest of the country was coming down. But look at the rest of the country going up in aggregate, whereas we're down. And then for fun, because I have coaching clients elsewhere, I pulled Cincinnati and see how Cincinnati follows the nation.
Yeah.
But then you go back to ours.
Yeah, we're so different.
Okay, so let me say it again, everybody.
I know.
Listen to local news and talk to your agent about the market because this is very, very different.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're not on this slide, which is nice. The only town in Illinois is where the sellers most have power is Sterling, Illinois, number 10 on the left. Okay. On the right is where the buyers have the most power, and Florida, Georgia, you know, the Sun Belt, obviously. So that's it.
You know, going back to that, some people who are thinking about selling will take away from this data that they have a ton of power in the market and they can ask for aspirational prices. But you don't. Buyers are savvier than ever. And while they may be desperate to move, they often don't want to be taken advantage of. One. Two, when you're most of the buyers or a lot of the buyers are first-time home buyers and they're getting a mortgage. So sellers have to sell the property twice, first to the buyer and then to the bank, because the terms, their interest rates will depend on how much equity they're putting in, how much down payment they're making. And if it doesn't appraise out, they're going to have to put more down in order to get the rate that they want. So they are walking away from properties that are not priced for the market. If we price it competitively, not aspirationally, we might get more than the competitive price, but then you'll have proof that, listen, I listed it here. The market is really tough. There were a number of extra offers. We can get the bank or the appraiser to say, no, we're meeting the rising market, the rising price of the market. 3, I think a lot of sellers think, well, I don't have to do anything to the house. I get to just sell it as is. And the answer is this. Nobody wants to have to hire a contractor. Not your buyer, not you. I get it. But the buyer is going to pay you more for a house that's in move-in condition or a home that's in move-in condition than one that is like, okay, but you're going to want to make changes, so I'm going to leave it as it is. They don't want that anymore. It is really almost impossible to get a contractor for small tasks. I mean, I know this. They're so busy doing other things. They want big jobs. They don't want, I'll fix your X, something discreet and, 10 hours. They want 3-month jobs. And so I'm going to tell you, it's just not.
No. And we'll talk about this more too under your what's on our minds, right? Because you've got that topic coming up. I've got a lot of things to tell you about that.
Okay, good. Let's jump in.
Okay. Do you need me to pull this up?
Of course I do. There we are.
There we go.
It's on our mind. And you know what I'm most impressed by is I got the date right. Holiday weekend. So I always think, do you guys feel the same? I feel like September is the new year. I don't feel, January 1, the new year. It's only new year and that I have to change what I write on my checks. Or I have to remember that it's.
Oh, you're dating yourself there, girl.
No, I still write a couple checks.
I'm running into people who don't even know how to write them anymore. I'm like, what?
And sometimes like in a calendar or in a letter when I'm, writing a personal note, I'll put the date and I'm like, oh, it's a new year. But that's it. But for fall, I really feel like it's, there's new TV. I, of course, don't watch anything other than the Tennis Channel, but there's new stuff. And, so happy New Year to all of those who celebrate. So what the things that are on our mind are contract cancellations are higher.
So that's where we just were.
Yeah. Talk about that, Anne. Are you seeing this?
Yeah, no, I'm not. But I am seeing a little more buyer's remorse. And I was reading the article that, we both looked at prior to using this as something that's on our minds. And one agent was saying that, I don't know what he was saying. But, I agree with Matt Larissy, which I don't always do. But this time I did. There are a couple things going on. I think, number one, when you have multiple offers and people have to jump in too soon, it's easier to get buyer's remorse. Number two, sometimes these buyers, particularly first-time buyers, are not that well educated. And so when something comes up, for example, here's an example. My 33 Delaware went under contract to somebody who saw it on FaceTime. Okay. So now she comes in yesterday to see it for the first time in person. And she sees a shadow on the ceiling and she's like, there must be moisture, and her inspector had the moisture meter up there. There's no moisture, but the other agent had not taught her that, even the difference between what a condo building responsibility is in terms of caulking the outside of the building versus what happens if it's the guy above you versus what happens if it's your air conditioning condenser in the unit itself. So, here she was under contract in attorney review, inspection over, and I'm selling it to her all over again. So that's my rant of the morning. Sorry.
No, but I am actually finding this in a number of different ways.
Yeah, talk to me.
One, people with all cash can pull their cash. They'd be sort of like, you know what, I'd rather do something else. This doesn't interest me anymore. Two, people are buying for their children.
Oh my gosh, a lot of that going on. Yeah.
And they're losing their minds about the property. They're so worried.
Yeah.
And the kids are often very relaxed about the whole thing. Well, who wouldn't be?
Well, yeah, when mom and dad are paying. Woohoo!
Woo! Um, but um, but there is a lot of real concern, even in our market, that they're getting something that's not going to pan out. And so I am
Pan
actually
out though in what way? That
how
it's not going to hold its value, that there's going to be some super secret, new expense coming? I mean, what's the concern, do you think?
well. So I had a property under contract, and from renters.
Okay.
Oh, these people had been renting for a number of years and were going to buy, and they were, and and they may have owned previously, but I don't know if they'd owned previously, but they'd been renters. And going from renting to buying is a shift of responsibility for things that go wrong. Now you've
Right.
got to deal with it. You just have to deal with it. And it's not impossible to deal with, but it is your responsibility. So even little things became panicky. I mean, just sort of like, well, what do I do? Well, you get the phone, call me. I help you find some contractors,
Right, right.
and then you call them, and they come over. But that, rather than just telling your landlord, fix it. And I get that that's hard, but all the great things that you get from owning a home financially, let's even put that aside, but just being able to, it's your home. You've got
Make decisions about how you're going to live in it. Yeah, yeah.
everything. For the inconvenience of occasionally having to schedule a contractor or a replacement part or something,
Right.
is it's I find that very interesting, and it's often the people who've gone from renting to buying. They're trading off, throwing away all this money for convenience of just making your landlord deal with it.
Do you think that I'm okay? I don't mean to be Debbie Downer or like too philosophical here, but do you think, especially with younger buyers, that some of this anxiety generation is a part of it?
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can handle the pressure here. And uh, also, this, when you and I first bought our first properties, it was all about location and bones, and we didn't expect it to be perfect. But goodness gracious, somebody said to me this week, there are properties that are staged, and there are properties that don't sell.
Yeah.
It's like if you're not looking good, I don't care how. To your point earlier, I don't care how good the market is. If it's not, nobody's going to give you a good offer on it, right?
Well, it is or it isn't, but because there are different properties, so there are a lot of different things. But
you know what I'm saying?
A condo, you're absolutely right. A condo really needs to look much more move-in for people to get excited.
Well, and then the other thing is like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? That silly buyer that flaked on the unit in your building. Remember? And then I saw, okay, his big concern was, oh my gosh, there might be another special assessment. There might be something else, regardless of the fact that everything had been done. He's like coming up with these bizarro things that might go wrong. Well, what about the plumbing to the heating and air conditioning something? When were those pipes replaced? I mean,
No, and those aren't bizarre, but they are also the future, and who knows what the future is going to
that's it.
hold.
Right.
And what is great about a number of condo buildings, including the one you're talking about, they handled it in a way that was measured, effective, quick, and as painless as possible. And
Absolutely.
they took care of it for you. If you had a house, you'd have to do all of that yourself.
Absolutely.
So,
Anyway.
anyway.
Okay. Well, cancellations may be higher, but buyers, work with an agent who will educate you fully as to the process. Kyle and I make it our pursuit to do so. But don't just jump in. You're now responsible for paying for your advocacy. So
Yes.
choose wisely.
Yes. So contract cancellations are higher, which I wonder if it correlates to this, to your point earlier of buyer's remorse of a hot market, that because of all this anxiety of life, plus did I pay too much, is causing some contract cancellation.
Well, and you know what's funny? Ironically, if it's a multiple offer, I think they tend to stick with it more because they think, oh, somebody else wanted it, so therefore I must be making a wise decision. Whereas if the market's a steady market and nobody else is buying it at the same time or fighting them for it, then they start second guessing themselves. What do you think?
I think that's probably accurate. I think that's probably accurate too, because they're thinking, why hasn't this sold?
Right, right.
And am I dumb to buy it? And the answer is, no, it just hasn't sold. Okay, so let's talk about mortgage rates.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very interesting statistics that you gave us, or anticipation of steady interest rates. And so everyone is perceiving, and it may be true, it'll depend on the financial data that comes out in the next couple of weeks, that the Fed rate, which is not the mortgage rate, will drop some amount in September. And what the mortgage rate is 30 years looking out, how are things going? And it tends to have on top of the Fed rate a cushion of, or they call it a spread, of how the banking and mortgage community feels about what's going on. And the spread since 2022 has gotten much wider than it has in the past. It used to be 1.7%. That tells you how incredibly low the spread was, and it accounts for how low mortgage interest rates were because the Fed rate was so low. The 10-year Treasury is going to have to pay a lot more, and the spread tends to follow the 10-year Treasury.
Right.
I'm concerned that the spread, even if this goes down, that the spread is going to either expand or not come down enough for us. So I don't know. We have the industry has not guessed right.
Isn't that the truth? Yes.
So it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I wonder, what do you think it's going to, I've asked the question, what do you think the impact is going to be on supply if rates sort of stay the same? What do you think for Chicago?
Well, I don't think we're going to see a significant shift one way or the other.
You don't?
No, I don't. I think rates are going to be stable. I think the impact is going to be very little, and I think we're just going to have a steady fall.
A steady fall in the sense of still low inventory because people.
I do.
I know.
I do.
And I talk to people who should be selling. I talk around to people who should be selling. They're perfectly happy now.
Right. And who wouldn't be if you have that 4% interest rate or 3% interest rate? Or I mean, it takes a life change to make you move,
It really does. I'm concerned. Anyway, property tax delay.
Oh my gosh. What is it? 3 years ago, we did this too, right? Where we had to wait till November to get our tax bills.
No. So everyone, so you understand that I delight in the fact that I have not gotten my second half tax bill stupidly, because all of the taxing authorities, the Park District, the Chicago Public Schools, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, all of these taxing districts that go into your property tax. It's not just the city of Chicago. It's not just Cook County. It's not just their budgets, but it's all of these other taxing districts' budgets. They're not getting money coming in. They're having to delay paying off bills. They're having to pay interest, which means they're going to miss their budget. They're going to have to come up with more money, and it will mean more taxes next year or the next time. It is not good. So we can enjoy art for our own personal selves.
Right. As long as you, yeah. The city that works isn't working right now.
So then on something happy.
Yeah, let's look at some pretty properties.
So there are two very fancy pants houses for sale in Lake Geneva. They're on the private network, and they're gotten from the same agent. And I mean, hi.
Who doesn't love Lake Geneva? Lake Geneva is gorgeous.
This can be yours for a mere $9.8 million. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It's in Lake Geneva proper. So it's on, Lake Geneva sort of looks like it's a funny looking lake, but it's on the northeast corner of the lake near town. So you've got this beautiful dock and pier and 2 boat slips. For these people, and look at that beautiful lawn. It is 7 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. It is 7,897 square feet on 2.1 acres.
Just what you need in a second home, 7,800 square feet.
It's a 3-car attached heated garage and a 4-car detached garage.
For your toys.
7 cars in a garage.
Yeah.
Built in 2018, so it should be in good shape. And the taxes are, guess.
Oh my gosh.
Because remember, they don't have a lot of properties against which to pay for schools, fire department, etc.
$80,000 a year.
90.
Yeah, okay.
So here's some more pictures. I mean, beautiful. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
The next house is North 2224 Bonnie Bray Lane, and it could be yours for a mere $8.67 million. Yay! It's in Lynn, Wisconsin, which is to the west of Lake Geneva on the lake. It's on that narrow part that the lake sort of comes to a narrow in the middle. It is 5 bedrooms, 6 baths, 7,200 square feet. It's on 1 acre with a boat slip and pier, and that's a similarly beautiful boat slip and pier. I mean, look, and it's got, are those jet skis? A boat and 2 jet skis. I mean,
yeah.
What is that? Lots of garage. Don't worry about the garage. It was built in 2001, and it's a more traditional style.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I didn't show you all the things that I thought were less attractive. And beautiful outdoor space. Guess how? So much less land, not in Lake Geneva. Guess how much the taxes are?
65,000.
Just under 60. But my gosh, wouldn't you love to be sitting out there for breakfast or dinner? Lake.
I don't go often to Lake Geneva, but I really like it. When Tom and I were first married, that was the place everybody went. Nobody had discovered Southwest Michigan yet, but
it's beautiful.
Lake Geneva's gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely. So, well, so nice to see you again.
So nice to see you. So nice to be seen. And so people bullied me into getting a new microphone. And so I hope all those people who noticed how tinny I sounded will comment and let me know if this microphone sounds better.
Yes. How are we sounding? We want to bring you the very best sound.
I know. And I'm working on the lighting.
Gosh, everybody, thank you for watching so much. Please follow us on the socials, subscribe to our channels, and of course, reach out when you have questions about real estate in downtown Chicago. Kyle, good to see you. We will see you next week on Monday Morning Coffee with Kyle and Ann.
Bye-bye.